I took Tommy Muldoon, and sorry about the abrupt ending, I ran out of disk space. Tommy Muldoon, and I picked Becky, of course, that comes with it. I had a choice between ability to ride his motorcycle, which lets him move extra spaces, but the handcuffs I thought was interesting, because as long as it's not epic, I can just defeat a human monster automatically if that monster attacks me or whatever. And since we're going up against a lot of cultists that are human, I thought maybe this was really good for this scenario. So I picked him, and he started in the general store, which is actually an area that needs some love. And it's time for us to start our actions, which are unfortunately riddled with all kinds of problems. So Umordoth is 2 spaces away. So these folks over here in the south side can still do stuff, but they're running out of time. So I'm going to start with Marie up there, and she's going to move and then attack Ashcan Pete's guy, and then she's going to share her attack action with Ashcan or with somebody else. So the one she's going to attack is this one, because it only needs one more hit to be killed. No, she's going to take this one, the Vicious Glutton. And the reason is she only has to hit it once, and then her ally hits it the second time, right? So it's a -1, so she has to roll 4 dice. So we're going to come over here and grab 4 dice. Actually, she gets to roll 5, but there's her 1 hit. That's all she needed. And then her ally did the other hit. So the Vicious Glutton is killed, which is good. And we need that token. So we get this, and that's going to go on Marie. Now, Marie's going to give an attack action to somebody else, and it's going to give it to Agnes. Well, no, Agnes doesn't have anybody. Who does? McGlenn does, actually. McGlenn's got this ghoul acolyte, so he's going to go ahead and attack, and it's he normally gets 5 or 9 dice. Yeah, so it's 9 dice here. There's 5 dice, and I just dropped 2 in my chair, or 1, and that's McGlenn is just rolling awful. And actually, he only gets to roll 8 dice. So, because he lost his focus. And he missed. Oh my gosh. He missed with so many dice again for the second time. Okay, McGlenn is stuck. Marie's done with her turn. I'm going to go ahead and go with McGlenn. We're going to focus to get that strength back. Not that it helps him. And then, yeah, he's going to try to evade with his whopping 1 die. And of course he doesn't. So McGlenn is stuck with another monster, and he's not going to get to draw an encounter again. Unless somebody saves him. So, but no one's going to save him, because we got Rex Murphy here. He's going to engage Alma Hill. Well, it's not engaged, but he's going to attack Alma Hill. And Alma is a -0. She only needs 1 more hit. So that's why he's doing it. And he does get to roll 3 dice. He only hits on a 6. So he's going to get another attack action or attack thing as part of his, because he failed. And then for his next action, he's going to do a ward. Well, hold on. The Abyssal Servant would have engaged somebody with the most clues. So yes, it is actually Agnes. So yeah, he's going to do a ward action. Oh, that's 4 misses. He gets to roll 5 dice. He missed again. So he gets to, he literally has 2 of every skill now. So at this point, I mean, it says his focus limit is unlimited. I'm assuming he can't take any more focus now. So, yeah, there's nothing he can do. So we're just abysmally playing this round. And now it gets to Agnes, and this Alma Hill here is going to go undamaged this round because nobody's able to do anything. I'm quite upset, to be quite honest. All right, so Agnes here has to do 4 hits, and she's going to go ahead and take another... No, she's not. She'll take the mental damage. But that means she'll take the damage. Then she's going to get to roll 5, 6, 7 dice. It does say strength -1, but she's not doing a strength test. She has lore. She gets to use lore in place of strength as part of the attack. So I'm assuming she gets to ignore it. So here's 5. There's 1 hit. Again, we're rolling awful. And there's a 2nd hit. So she did 2 hits on a monster that needed 4. And she's going to now try to evade with 1 whopping die. And it missed. So she's stuck. Now I'm going to do this Tommy Muldoon. And this space he's in needs so much love, but he's going to move, and we're going to kill this Anita Hill. Have to. Tommy Muldoon needs to get cracking here. So he gets to roll 7 dice. There's 5 of them. There's 2 hits. Anita Hill, or Alma Hill. Sorry, I'm thinking politically here. We now finally get a 2nd token on our scenario sheet, and we killed the 2nd of the worshippers. And yeah, she was human, so he didn't even have to damage her to get her. So Tommy Muldoon is now there, and Agnes is in trouble. McGlenn is in trouble. So many people are in trouble. Okay, so moving on. I got Rex Murphy. I think he took his turn. McGlenn took his turn. The only one who hasn't is Ashcan, and he actually has a monster on him, so we're going to attack. And Ashcan has 3 strength, 4 strength, plus 5 more is 9. That's plenty of hits. It was a shotgun. He basically annihilated this thing from up close. So Ashcan finally killed his guy, the Masked Hunter. And the Masked Hunter, I don't think was the, he didn't have the special symbol. So, but we did finally get him. And anyways, Ashcan has another action. We need clues. We need lots of stuff. Ashcan's not very damaged. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to move with him and get into these neighborhoods where I can start to make a difference. All right, we are done with all of our actions. So now we go to the monster phase. So I'm going to go through all the monsters that are currently engaged, and then we'll deal with the ones on the board. This one is going to do 1 damage to her. She's up to 4 damage, and then 2 more mental. So not good situation for Agnes. And then I'm going to flip Agnes over because she's not going to be able to do an encounter. Moving on. McGlenn's not going to be able to do an encounter and has 1 and 1. So 1 of each has been done to him. He's almost dead. And then let's go over to here. We have this Nightmarish Fiend coming in. He's going to engage the lowest will, which was the Magician. And now it's Rex Murphy. So he's coming in and he's going to hit Rex Murphy for 2 and 2. And Rex Murphy's not going to be able to do an encounter. And he's almost dead too. I don't like Rex Murphy at all. I just don't see the value of this character, period. He gets to roll a lot of dice. and has a lower % chance with it. I just don't see the value. I mean, I guess he's well-rounded, but even these two stink. I don't know. Don't like this character. But anyways, he's almost dead. It's not that I don't like him that much. I at least want him to stay alive. And Umardoth is going to move one more space. And he's in the street. So we now have 1, 2, 3 characters that get to do encounters. So we're going to do Marie Lambeau first. I'm going to just go ahead and put this down. Marie Lambeau is at the police station where she spent the entire game so far. An officer questions your involvement in the recent incident. You must insist that he call his boss and mention your name. Or you insist that he does. Okay, so do negotiation. She has 4, which is good. There's a pass. Officer sheepishly hangs up the phone and politely asks you how he can help. You gain 1 common item. And that's it. So just putting that back in the deck. We gain a common item. She actually has 2 damage, so the bulletproof vest might actually help her. The token of faith is never a bad thing. I think she's going to take the bulletproof vest. It actually does help her, which, believe it or not, she's been taking a lot of attacks this game, and another weapon comes out. Okay, so she's done. And now we go to Tommy Muldoon, who actually has nobody on him. It's a little unfortunate because the other ones needed it instead of him. I guess he could have taken the Abyssal Servant away from, what's her name? Agnes. But it's too late now. Let's keep going. So we're going to do Southside. He's at the church. Homeless man come to pray. You or an ally recovers 3 sanity and gain a clue. So he will pay the $1 just for the clue. It would have been nice if one of the other characters would have done it, because they actually have sanity damage. But Muldoon got the last clue from that. Okay. He's done. And last but not least is Ashcan, who is in Rivertown at the graveyard. 2 ghouls are fighting over a corpse. You, ignoring the money that had been buried with it, you gain $2. Okay, so he gets $2. Ashcan, that's not always a bad thing. The sight is horrific. Test your will. If you pass, the arguing creatures discuss their plans. You gain 1 clue from your neighborhood. Or you suffer a horror. It's one or the other. So his will is 3, which is good. He's been focusing it all game, but he actually doesn't have it focused now. So he's got 3 will. And he failed. And I'm just checking to see if he gets any rerolls. He can, if he's willing to spend a focus, and he will spend his eyeball focus and get 1 more die. Well, actually, that's the Ace of Rods lets him roll all the dice, so that's why I did this. And he failed. Oh my gosh. All right, so he gets a horror. And to make matters worse, this gets shuffled back into the deck. He didn't even get the clue. We're done with actions. Or no, I'm sorry, encounters. Now we do the Mythos Cup. And the Mythos Cup had 2. And we'll throw the rest in. Actually, I'm going to only throw 2 in. And here's the next 2. Actually, I'm just going to dish them out, and I'll show them to you as we resolve them. Okay, starting with Agnes. We're going to draw a clue and another monster, as if we needed more. The monster is a hooded stalker. I can tell you he's an easy one. He spawns at the most doom, which there are lots of places for most doom. And I'm going to put him all the way up at Velma's Diner, so he's far away. Okay, next is a clue, which is going to show up on Easttown, up where Marie is. And next, we have a blank and a headline. The headline is the last headline in the deck. You suffer 2 damage unless you discard 1 item. And this is Marie. She can discard an item, but I don't think she wants to. She's going to discard the Deputy of Arkham. So we'll go ahead and do that. He only allowed her to increase her focus by 1. Not a big deal. Okay, Tommy Muldoon is a Gate Burst and a Reckoning. So the Reckoning is another token goes on this headline card. So we have 2 tokens on there, and then a 3rd token there. So you can see we have 13 tokens on there, and then if a Gate Burst is going to happen if this fills up. So, and then he's doing a Gate Burst, so that means Uptown is getting a Gate Burst. And Uptown, it's just getting crazy. I don't have enough Doom tokens for all this. So I'm grabbing 3 from the scenario sheet. And just putting remnant tokens on there to count instead. And then here, there's so much going on. St. Mary's Hospital blew up. So then that caused these 2 to go here, and this goes onto the scenario sheet. And then this blew up, which caused St. Mary's and that to go there, and then this goes on a scenario sheet. And then this blows up, which causes this, and then that goes on a scenario sheet. And if you haven't figured it out yet, we're at 16 on the scenario sheet. So I was still shuffling this from the Gate Burst, but I think we just lost the game. So let's go to the Feast of Ghouls. If there's 15 or more, flip this card. Investigators lose the game. It eats Lisa Chandler first. When it catches you, the creature, if creature it is, lacks anything you can describe as a mouth, but it eats her all the same, screaming, bones cracking, blood pooling as she vanishes within its smoking tendrils. Then it comes for you, expanding in its hunger and its menace as it flows. You try to flee, but Umerdoth drags you back inside it, and you feel its teeth for the first time. Your only comfort lies in the faces of its worshippers, gathered to watch your demise. You have just long enough to watch their grim rapture transform to terror as Umerdoth finishes with you, and then reaches out for them. So, game over. We lose. We would have won if we put the 5th marker on this scenario sheet. If card 11 was still in the codex, we would have won. But the problem is card 11 was the 8 Doom, so Umerdoth spawned. So this doesn't help us anymore with Umerdoth. So that would have caused us to win, of course. Defeating Umerdoth, I'm sure, would have given us a win. But of course, he's just ridiculously difficult. This is what's difficult about it. I mean, 3 damage and 3 sanity. I mean, most of these characters can only handle 5 or 6. So, so fighting him, you're basically going to get 1 shot at hitting him, and then that's it. And his health is 4 times 6 investigators. That's 24 plus 8. That's 32 health. And we've so far have reduced it by 4. So he's back down to 28, which is still a ridiculously high number. And like I said, every character is going to get basically 1 shot at him. Now, the clues you get to add clues as a damage, but you've been seeing this. I mean, we have clues all over the board, and nobody's picking them up. I mean, it was just, with the dice rolls, this was just an awful scenario. And so, a very challenging one. And this is not even the hardest one, I've been told. There's one more in this game that I think has the big man himself, Cthulhu. And that one is supposed to be the toughest one. Echoes of the Deep. So we're going to get the Riley Guardian and all Deep One monsters. This looks pretty standard. Like, that looks like it's the same Mythos Cup as every other scenario. We're going to start with anomalies, and then these two are new. And then we use the Nightmare Breach cards, which are just, you know, those special cards over there. And you look at the neighborhood, it looks like a pretty standard neighborhood. So, each investigator suffers horror equal to the amount of doom in their space every time a reckoning happens. So this is apparently the toughest one. That last one was pretty tough. And again, I know I've said this before, but our rolls were bad, right? Sometimes we just got really unlucky with our rolls. But the biggest thing was some of these monsters that had the plus health per investigator. Whew, when you're playing a 6-player game, that made it really tough for one character to take out the monster. When it's a 2-player game, one character can easily take out a monster like that. But those ones made the higher player count games so much more hard. And I know the idea is well, you got more players that are helping you kill it. But that's not true. It's just not true. I mean, yes, you have more characters that can help you kill it, but those more characters are spawning monsters themselves, or they're trying to get clues, or they're trying to clean up the ward. You know, the doom that's coming out at ridiculous rates. I don't know how much of this was my bad die rolling versus I just really don't like 6-player versions of this game. But then again, when I was at Arkham Knights at FFG, all the games were 6 players and we won the few times we played. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think this was just a very bad luck game. And I really think that Dexter Morgan should have picked the spell that does damage. That was a huge mistake on my part. But anyways, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you found this interesting. And there you go, it's Scenario 3. I know you might be thinking, well, hey, you're going to be doing Scenario 4, and the answer is no. I got this game today, and it's coming out immediately. So while this is uploading to YouTube, I'm going to be reading the rules, and then, of course, cleaning this one up. So thank you for watching, and eventually I will get to the 4th one, I think, but not right now. And if you have any questions, please let me know. If I made mistakes, by all means, feel free to make comments to help other players out if they're watching. But I just want you to understand, I'm not going to go back and rewatch this video and tell you were right or wrong. You're probably right. I just, you know, I'm not interested in going back and fixing that. If I made the mistake, I only made it once or twice. And, you know, I think I represented the rules properly. But again, if there's any comments with that, just feel free to say them. And you just might not get too many responses from me. I try to respond to the earlier videos, but not to these later ones. But anyways, thanks so much. Stay awesome, and appreciate it.